Most of the lawyers are present, the defendant is present. So we're missing a few people from the state, maybe?
They'll be back.
Okay. Can we start lining the jurors up?
Yes.
Okay. Defense? Here. So just let me know when you're all ready. I'm not sure exactly.
What?
Are you calling Judge? Are you calling Parkland first?
Yes.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're checking on one of the terms.
Sure. We'll wait to introduce that. Melissa. You don't have to do it while we're done. You want to take the time and look at that?
Okay. So we can go ahead, Judge. This other issue we can wait on. Okay. Just before we start, I need to break between 11 and 11:15 for a meeting today. Does that suit your witness presentation?
That's not going to be a problem, Your Honor. We have 5 witnesses today. I don't know how long those will be. It could be a short day. So
Okay.
as far as our witness is concerned, you can take, not that you need my permission, but
Sure.
you can take your time.
Okay, so is it okay with the defense that we're going to take a break for lunch around 11:15, depending on where the testimony is? It's going to be an early lunch, but I have a meeting that I have to attend at 11:30.
Yes, no, absolutely.
I just wanted to let you all know. And then, Mr. Sachs, do you have any idea approximately when you'll be finishing your case?
Probably next week.
Okay, okay, that helps. I'm just trying to get a tentative schedule, and that following week, the week of the 8th, is the week that I have the juror who is unavailable from the 10th through the 12th.
That should be a
And
problem.
then there's another juror on the 9th who has a family graduation that he has asked to attend, although he has said he completely understands if he can't, and that's on the 9th. So if you're finished next week, I was thinking we would have court on Monday, if at all that week, because many of the jurors have conflicts.
That's fine with us.
Is it then?
The week of the 8th, Ron?
Correct.
That's fine. I'm sorry. If the state is gonna finish,
They said next week.
that's the week of the 1st,
Yes.
can we just not have court on the 8th?
Well, that was my plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
The
misunderstood.
plan was if we have the 5th off, which is a Friday. My plan is if the state doesn't finish by next week, then they can have Monday if needed.
I see.
But if not, because of the juror conflicts, we would take a break from the trial for you all to get certain matters taken care of, and that would be an extra week for you all to work on your inner office or in-office matters, okay? So I just wanted to double check to make sure.
Judge, we have to talk about the review at some point. I know we're not doing it now, but I just want to put that on the table.
Absolutely. Okay, are the jurors ready to be brought in?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jurors are answering. All jurors present.
Okay, the jurors are present. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. State, you may call your next witness when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Raymond Beltran.
Good morning. Please remain standing for this one.
Good morning, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Raymond Beltran, Beltran.
And sir, what is your occupation?
I'm a sergeant for the Broward Sheriff's Office,
And how long have you been with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
19 years.
Is that your first law enforcement experience with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
With the Broward Sheriff's Office, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'd like to call your attention to November the 13th, 2018. Do you remember that date?
Yes, sir.
And were you on duty that day?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an assignment that you went to on that day?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go?
I went to the main jail, Pod 4 Delta,
Okay. And what time did you arrive?
3 p.m., I believe.
Okay. How were you dressed?
I was in my uniform, my emergency response team uniform.
Okay. On that date, did you come in contact with the defendant in this case, Nikolas Jacob Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Would you be good enough to point him out for us?
Sure. He's wearing a gray top and I believe a blue shirt.
Okay. Madam Reporter, with the court's permission, would you please let the record reflect that Sergeant Beltran has identified the defendant, in this case, Nikolas Jacob Cruz. So, you came in contact with him at that time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's come a time that afternoon that something occurred.
Correct.
Okay. I want to show you now State's Exhibit marked 7A for identification and ask you, Sergeant Beltran, could you identify that?
Yes, this is the video of the incident.
Okay. And is this video, you have seen that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does this video truly and accurately depict the actions between you and the defendant, Nikolas Cruz, that existed on November the 13th, 2018?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 7A.
Is there any objection?
Yes, just based on the previous litigation
Okay,
regarding the video. Can we go sidebar?
you mean in the related case number?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I remember, but we can go sidebar if we need to. Mr. Sachs, this is gonna be published to the courtroom.
Yes.
Okay. And over the defense objection states 7A as an alpha will be received as states 426.
May we publish this, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sergeant Beltran, we're going to publish this. You can just say, interrupt to explain what's happening, rather than just have you explain without the video. We're going to play it, and you tell me to stop it to explain what's happening. Okay?
Yes, sir.
There's no sound on this, correct?
Correct.
Is that you sitting at the desk?
Yes, sir. At the table,
Right.
right by the stairs. We're in Unit 4, Delta, Unit 1. Mr. Cruz is walking around doing his exercise like normal. At one point here, he's going to walk around and he's going to flip his shower slides, where he brings them in and he walks with his shower slide folded. So I told him not to do that because I didn't want him to fall. If you look, you can see the shower slide being folded.
On his feet, you're talking about, right?
Yes, sir. Right here, if you want to stop it. That's when I told him. He turned around and asked me, or told me, that his shower slide was broken. So I advised him that he needed to go back inside his cell, and I was going to get the sergeant on the floor to come over and bring him a new pair. And once the sergeant did that, then he can come back out.
Okay.
If you want to pause it now, at this point, he basically stopped talking. He flipped me off twice, and then he attacks me. You get started. All right, if you want to stop. Right here, I'm trying to take control of him, but if you can see, his right hand is going for my taser.
All right. Your taser, do you have your taser with you?
Yes, sir.
Would you stand up,
Sure.
please? Is that where it was?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You sit down.
Okay. So with his right hand, he's going for my taser. He also, with his left hand, tries to go for the taser also, with both hands. The way the taser is in the holster, there's a little button. If you want me to get up, I'll show you.
Illustrate how it works.
There's a little button right here. You got to press the button, you got to rock the taser back, and then you pull it out.
Okay.
How is it for to see?
Why don't you,
Raise your hand
can
if
he
you
step
if
down?
you can't see. There's a bunch of you that cannot.
Why don't you step down here?
You have to press this button right here. You got to rock it back, and then you can lift it up. You good?
So you just can't pull it straight out?
No, sir. He could actually lift my whole body.
Okay.
Once he's going for my taser, I immediately had to get my taser back. If you want to go back a little bit, he actually has my taser in his hand. I'll tell you when to stop it. He's going for it right there with his right hand. He also grabs with his left. You can see he's trying to press the button. Right there, he has the taser in his right hand. At this point, I have to get the taser back.
Why?
He could tase me, he can incapacitate me, and he can basically do whatever he wants to me. Also, if he hits me with it, it's a blunt object, he can hurt me. So, all I was thinking right there was get my taser back.
Yes, sir.
We're fighting for the taser right now. At one point, you're going to see a light, and I'll show you.
Hold it.
It's coming up.
Wait, it's coming up fuzzy. Aaron, could you go back?
Right there. You can see the light. You see where the table is? You saw the light?
Yeah.
Well, you can see the light. Basically, the taser activated, if you want to stop it. Prior to this, basically, the taser was activated. It was turned
When
on.
you say activated, what do you mean?
It was turned on. So you pull the lever up, and that's when that light comes up.
Okay.
So once it was activated, it was the only way the taser goes off is if you press the trigger.
Okay.
At this point, where we're fighting for the taser, I can't tell you if I press the trigger or if Mr. Cruz pressed the trigger. But the taser deployed,
All right.
meaning that the two prongs in the front shot out.
Okay. So, explain how the taser operates.
Okay, there's a cartridge in the front. When you press the trigger, two prongs come out, and they're
Are
intended
the
to
two
hit.
prongs attached to anything?
Excuse me?
The prongs attached to anything?
To the body.
Okay.
Like when they deploy, the intent is to hit one and one, and then it does the job.
Okay.
So it deployed onto the floor. So that's when you see that light.
So, stop for a second. So, when you say deploy, the two prongs or two darts shoot out and they
Correct.
hit your target, right?
Correct. That's
And
on a
then-
normal.
Right, right. So I'm just trying to get the explanation how a taser works, or this taser works.
Correct.
So it goes out as attached to anything, wires?
They're connected to the taser.
Right,
So the wires shoot out with the
Right.
two prongs.
Right.
It connects to your target,
right.
and then it does what it's supposed to do.
Okay, and when you pull the trigger, what happens?
It cycles for 5 seconds.
Okay,
While you have, on this particular taser, while you're pressing the trigger, it'll cycle for 5 seconds and it'll stop.
so electric charge goes out to incapacitate the person, correct?
Correct. For 5 seconds.
All right,
Then, if you want to continue another 5-second cycle, you're supposed to press the trigger again.
okay. And you can press the trigger continually and,
After, yes, sir.
so 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. 5
Correct.
seconds. Okay, okay.
So right here, basically, he got in a fighting stance, I got in a fighting stance. He took a couple punches at me. He missed. I hit him one time. I had the taser in my hand. I struck him. He moved back. Then he got on the table. I told him to face down. I put the taser on his back. I handcuffed him.
Okay.
I took him back to the cell, and
Okay. Okay, and that was the end of that?
yes, sir.
Okay. So with the taser, what type of training do you have, or did you have with
We
that?
go through the taser class, which is an 8-hour course. We get explained everything about the taser. Once a year, we do a refresher, where we deploy against like a dummy
Okay,
once a year.
okay. And you carry that on your uniform all the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have, Sergeant Beltran, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, we have a sidebar.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short recess. Please do not discuss the case among yourselves, and please leave your notepads behind. Sergeant, if you wouldn't mind just stepping outside while I have a conversation with the lawyers, please don't discuss your testimony with anyone.
Yes, ma'am. On the rulings on this video and these matters. So your first argument is that you want to impeach the sergeant with the reckless driving conviction that he concluded his probationary sentence 2 years ago. Is that correct? Is that the length of time that you said, 2 years?
He was on probation for 2 years, but that period expired.
But you want to be able to ask him whether or not, why don't you tell me rather than me telling you, so I can make sure I understand you.
Judge, I think the argument posited by this meal was that that we should be able to show that Sergeant Beltran has a tendency not to follow standing operating procedure with our sheriff's office, and in doing so, while he was on duty on an extradition assignment, he picked up that he was arrested for a DUI.
Okay, is there any evidence that during this incident or altercation with your client that the Sergeant Beltran was not following standard operating procedures?
I mean, besides myself testifying, Judge, I can tell you that he wasn't following SOP, allowing him to walk around continuously around the tables. When he's in the day room, he's supposed to be seated.
He was not allowed. Can you say that again, Mr. Mayor?
When you're in the day room, you're supposed to be seated according to standard operating procedures.
All right, and what is the second argument you wanted to make, or second point of cross-examination?
Judge, during the pendency and preparing the litigation of this case, Sergeant Beltran appeared for deposition. He followed subpoenas as directed. He made sure that he was there on time, because if he didn't, he was under the threat of imprisonment by violating the conditions of his probation in Washington State.
Do you have any evidence that he had a pattern of not showing up when he was subpoenaed for deposition? So you want to be able to ask him if the only reason that he showed up is... And first of all, using prison for... Can you go to prison for reckless driving in Washington?
That's an imprisonment, Judge.
Imprisonment.
Threat of imprisonment.
What's the maximum penalty for reckless driving?
I'm not sure what it is in Washington State now.
It might not even be jail time. You need to know that. If you're going to ask him that, don't you? All right, what else?
It's up to one.
In the state of Washington. Because I can tell you in the state of North Carolina and other states, those kind of things are very different. And some are not even considered a misdemeanor or felony or other.
Does that have a statute? It carries up to 364 days, and a fine of not more than $5,000.
And what was the third area you were saying about the video?
Just that we don't have the remainder of the video as been previously litigated on motion to dismiss, because it was not preserved. So we don't know what happened just prior to this incident.
Your Honor, if I could just add a point, that the rule is that you can't ask a police officer if he's, or a witness, if he's still on probation at the time he is testifying. The rule isn't that you can ask a police officer or a witness if they've ever been on probation during the pendency of the case. That's not what the law is. That's what the defense wants it to be, but that's not what the law is.
I step out and use the restroom real quick while
Sure.
you're doing that, please? Thank you.
and refresh my memory on some of the rules of evidence and the specifics as noted in Professor Earhart's Florida Evidence Guide. And my rulings are as follows. The general rule, as you all are familiar with, is that a witness can be impeached with a prior conviction for a crime of dishonesty or false statement. And the only exception to that is when a person is called as a witness by the state and the person is either under investigation, under an open criminal prosecution, or the person is under supervision, such as probation, community control. And that is for the sole purpose of being able to show through that witness that the witness is trying to curry favor with the state because of the witness's current situation. In this situation, Sergeant Beltran was, I don't know if he was convicted or not, withholder, but I don't think it matters, because it would be admissible if he was on probation or if there was an active pending case against him. But the fact that he is no longer under supervision, the exception, the very limited exception that allows for questioning of an open investigation to show that the witness is currying favor, or perhaps currying favor, does not exist here. And so I don't believe the mere fact that he's a police officer makes it wide open for all of these other reasons. I think that the rules of evidence are clear that when a crime is not a conviction and or it doesn't meet the standard for a crime, it is a conviction, but it doesn't meet the standard for a crime of dishonesty or false statement, or it's not a felony, it's a very limited situation when you can bring it up. And I don't believe that that situation and those factual requirements are met here. So I am not going to allow you to cross-examine Sergeant Beltran on this reckless driving matter from the state of Washington. And that includes, your argument was that the bias, he was biased and that he appeared for depositions only because he was facing these charges in Washington. I agree with the state that the bias has to be a current bias. You can't question about a bias that happened at depositions several years ago. In addition, when it comes to any type of impeachment on this video, I have reviewed my prior order as well as my notes on the hearing. And the video preservation or lack thereof had nothing to do with this witness. It had to do with his superiors. So there is absolutely no relevance in asking this witness about video preservation, which was not part of his job responsibility, and he may not even know the answer to. He may, but I don't believe that that qualifies as impeachment material either. And finally, I had mentioned the possibility of just asking questions. If your contention is that this incident may have met the requirements of self-defense. However, after refreshing my memory as to the hearing in 18-14129, I found that there was absolutely no showing that the material on the pod video from the day showed any interaction between the sergeant and the defendant. That the video was not material, it was not exculpatory, and that the pod video prior to, there's I believe 5 minutes prior to the incident and 2 minutes after the incident were preserved. But I did find previously that the pod video, any other pod video, would nevertheless be irrelevant to any claim of self-defense. If the defendant were to assert a claim of self-defense in this matter, any perceived threat on the defendant's part as it related to Sergeant Beltran would have to be imminent. And the pod video of the entire day would be irrelevant to that fact. in the moments leading up to the altercation were captured on video and represent the only time that would be relevant to a claim of self-defense because of the amount of time. So I don't know if your intention after he pled guilty is to try to assert a claim of self-defense.
I don't think the defense has mentioned that at all, Judge.
Well, you were mentioning the video, and I wasn't sure where you wanted to go with the video questioning, so I'm just bringing that up, that I have already determined that any pod video that is not available, number one, has nothing to do with this witness, and number two, would not be relevant to anything with self-defense. So with that, can we bring the jury back in and the witness in, please? I think they're not lined up yet, so if you all want to be seated for a moment, and the bailiff will announce when they're entering.
Jurors are answering.
Okay, the jurors are present. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Wheeler, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Sergeant. How are you doing?
Morning, sir.
You mentioned the taser during the incident, right? Like the one you're carrying now?
Correct.
Would you agree with me that the taser you're carrying now weighs slightly less than, say, I don't know, a stapler?
And a stapler?
Like a stapler, like you would find on the judge's desk.
Sure.
Okay. And the taser that you carry it because it's considered a non-lethal instrument, right?
Correct.
So going back to 2018, from the moment that Mr. Cruz is brought into the Broward County Main Jail, he's kept in his own housing unit, right?
Correct.
So that's 4D1.
Correct.
I think when he first started, he at least had 2 officers with him at all times.
I don't recall, but you could be right.
Okay. Well, at least since then, he's had at least 1 BSO deputy with him.
Correct.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Is this any old BSO detention deputy that's with him, or is it some
I'm sorry,
specialized? Is it a specialized deputy that's with him?
I don't understand what you're asking me.
A member of the ERT.
Yes.
What is ERT?
Emergency response team.
Okay. And so the only these deputies are working this detail, right?
Correct.
Besides this physical fight with you, the only person Mr. Cruz has ever heard in main jail has been himself. Is that true?
Himself?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't know?
If he's hurt himself?
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Were you aware that he was placed in suicide watch multiple times?
Yes.
Okay. And why do they do that?
For his safety?
Right. So he doesn't hurt himself, right?
Correct.
The injuries that you received during this fight, they were classified as superficial, is that correct?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't know if they were superficial or not.
Do you recall photographs being taken of your injuries?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall there being any bleeding?
No, I do not.
Do you recall them putting on bandages on you?
I chose not to have medical attention.
Did you go to the hospital after work?
I chose not to.
So the video that was played for the members of the jury doesn't show what happened just before the incident, right?
Say that again.
The video that was played for these jurors doesn't show what happened just before the fight, correct?
It doesn't show what happened before the fight?
Yes.
It did.
Okay.
He walked around.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but it showed him pacing around the tables.
He's exercising.
That's his exercise?
That's what he would do, yes, sir.
And how long was he doing that for?
That day?
Yes. Or just before the incident?
Probably probably 20 minutes, maybe.
All right, so
Right,
just
Rick.
20 minutes walking around in a circle.
Correct.
Isn't it true that after this incident, you lost your status on the ERT?
Lost my status?
Yes, you were taken off the emergency response team.
I was never taken off.
You were never taken off?
No,
Were you assigned to administrative duties?
I was.
And how long did that last for?
2.5 years, maybe?
Since then, have you been tasked with guarding one-on-one Mr. Cruz?
No, sir.
Judge, can I have a moment, please?
Sure.
Nothing further. Thanks, Judge.
State, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
State, call your next witness.
Detective Kevin Forsberg.
right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is Kevin Forsberg. Last name is Forsberg.
And your occupation, sir?
I am a deputy sheriff with the Broward County Sheriff's Office, currently a sergeant in charge of the homicide unit.
Okay, and how long have you been with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 21 years,
And how long have you been in the homicide unit?
going on 12 years now.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to Wednesday, February the 14th, 2018. Were you on duty on that occasion?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and on that date, did you have an occasion to respond to a certain location?
Yes, I believe it was about 2:35 in the afternoon. I was notified by my sergeant, which was Jonathan Brown, to respond out to the shooting that occurred at Stoneman Douglas.
Okay, Marjorie Stone Douglas High School in Parkland, Broward County, Florida.
Yes.
And what time did you arrive?
I got there about 3:05 p.m. and it was still an active scene at that time.
Okay, and did you have an occasion to go into the 1200 building?
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you now State's Exhibits 22W, 22V, and ask you, Detective Forsberg, if you can identify that.
Yes.
What is that?
These are cell phones that were located in the east stairwell, first floor of the 1200 building.
Okay. And showing you now State's Exhibit. Already been introduced in evidence, 255. Is that on everybody's screen? Okay, you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That would be the same cell phone that we located and eventually ended up recovering and identifying it as the phone belonging to Nikolas Cruz.
Okay, and showing you State's Exhibit 256. Is that another shot of that?
Yes, that would be the same phone.
Okay, and now showing you, at this time I want to offer State's Exhibits 22B and 22W.
Is there any objection?
No, ma'am.
Without objection, states 22V, like Victor, will be received as 427, and states 22W will be received as 428.
Detective Forsberg, I'm now showing you State's Exhibit marked 23B. Ask you, sir, if you can identify that, please.
Yes.
What is that?
This would be the evidence bag that I prepared and submitted this cell phone in and sealed up and provided to Detective Valerian Perez after locating it.
And that's the same phone that's been depicted in State's Exhibit 256, 255. 428.
I'm
Right.
sorry, Mr. Patrick,
Sorry?
what did you say that was there?
I can hear you.
What number did you say that was?
428,
Thank you.
428, and 427. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23D.
D as in Delta.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any objection?
That's the actual phone?
Yes.
Just pursuant to the suppression issues that relate to the cell phone, but other than that, no objection.
Okay, let me speak to the lawyer's sidebar, please. Okay, over the defense objection, states exhibit 23D, like Delta for identification, will be received as states 429.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Detective Forsberg, when you went into the first floor hallway, were you familiar with the phone number 954-821-1007?
Yes.
And did you use your phone to call a number when you were walking through the hallway?
Yes, I did.
Okay, tell us exactly what you did.
I started on the west end of the first floor entrance. I started immediately. I was actually originally given 3 separate numbers to call that were potential numbers that we were looking for. The initial number I started calling, it would ring, but wasn't getting an answer. I called it multiple times as I walked through the hallway, got about midway, and I received an answer on that phone. It ended up being a person by the name of McCaskill, Charles McCaskill. I had a brief conversation with him about what, or if any, his connection was to Nikolas Cruz. He stated he was an acquaintance, that he had used his phone in the past to order an Uber. I let him know that another detective would be contacting him shortly. I moved to the next phone, which was the phone starting or ending in 1007.
954-821-1007?
Yes.
Okay.
So as I was about the midway point of the hallway, I started calling that phone, trying to see if I could hear it anywhere in the hallway. I heard it faintly. It sounded like it was coming from the east location of the hallway. I continued calling it multiple times until I got to the east end of the hallway, and then I could hear that it sounded like it was coming from inside the stairwell location on the first floor on the east side.
East stairwell.
Yes.
Okay.
So once I called it again, that last time, I observed the phone. I could see it on the floor. I could see it was face up with the screen up. It was ringing, and I could see that my phone call was going to that phone.
Okay.
And at that time, we identified that phone.
Okay, and then you collected it, right?
Yes, we had crime scene detective Crespo photographed and documented it prior to collecting. It was placed in the evidence bag and sealed up for Detective Laren Perez to take.
Okay, and you gave it to Detective Perez, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions of Detective Forsberg.
Defense, any questions? Okay, thanks. You said no, Benjamin, right?
Yes,
Is
I
that Ms. Benjamin?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, you're excused.
Thank you.
Next witness.
Yes.
Detective Perez.
Detective Perez, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated, and when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Valerian Perez, P-E-R-E-Z.
And your occupation, sir?
I work for the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
Just shy of 30 years.
Okay, and what are you assigned to now?
Currently, I'm an administrative sergeant for the Dania Beach District.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to February the 14th, 2018. You remember that date?
Yes, I do.
All right, did you have an occasion to respond to a certain location?
Yes, I did.
And where did you respond to?
I responded to Stoneman Douglas High School at 5901 Pine Island Road.
Okay. Let me show you now State's Exhibit Mark 429 that has been introduced in evidence and ask you
Detective Perez, if you could take a look at that and see if you can identify it.
Yes, I can.
Okay. And how did you first come in contact with that?
I first came in contact with this phone through Detective Forsberg. It was a phone that was discovered inside the school, and he brought it out to me.
Okay, and he gave it to you?
Correct.
And that's the phone he gave to you, correct?
That is correct.
And what did you do with it?
I took the phone to another detective in order for him to do some forensic work on it.
Okay, who did you give it to? What's the name of the detective?
Ronnie Fairclough.
Okay. Thank you very much, Detective Perez. Your Honor, I have no further questions of Detective Perez.
Do you have any questions? Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Do you want to take that recess now?
Is your next witness
Maybe a little longer, yeah.
is longer? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take an early break. This is my fault. I have a meeting that I have to go to at 11:30. So it's 11 o'clock, just before 11 o'clock now. We'll be in recess until 12:45. Please do not discuss the case among yourselves. Please do not let anyone approach you or talk to you about the case. Please leave your notebooks behind. Please follow the same procedure that we've been following, and please be back at 12:45. Thank you so much. We're in recess. I'd like to start back up at 12:45, so if everyone can please be here by then, if the sheriff's office can please have the defendant here by 12:45. Thank you. verification, verification of jury service for the employers, for them for this week. And we passed it out with a calendar for the first 3 weeks of August, excuse me. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have them coming at 9, 30 minutes later, so we'll start at 9:30 because that seems to be more realistic. And then on the 4th, they're gonna come at 8:15, that's Thursday. And then I put on the 8th, just to be absolutely sure, in case something were to happen and the state didn't finish their case next week, I put the 8th, which is Monday, to be determined, and then I, for the rest of the week, put jury off. Okay. Okay, the lawyers are present, the defendant is present. Are both sides ready to begin the afternoon session and the next witness?
State's ready.
Judge, if we may go sidebar, please.
Sure.
For the jury.
You said for the, the jury's not here yet.
Before we
Is this
bring them.
Okay.
Yeah.
circles.
Okay. Eight of the comments from July of 2017, are those all alleged to have been made by the defendant?
Yes.
I can make, you're objecting, let's take the July of 2017 post first. You're only objecting to line 5.
Well, Judge, to be clear, we're objecting on all of the social media under 401 and 403.
Okay?
As well as renewing our objections from the search warrants that I placed on the record earlier today,
Okay.
the demotions. And that's because it's obvious that utilizing these social media posts is purely being used to inflame the jury. So that's our argument for and that's irrelevant. Specifically as to the comment that you have in front of you from State's Identification 23I.
Okay.
We're objecting because this is the state's attempt to invite the jury to consider victim impact evidence as an aggravator, which is impermissible. As to that comment.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
the state, to put this in context, Your Honor, this is coming in under cold, calculated, and premeditated. These comments go back to 2017. They show the planning, the thought processes of the defendant, his state of mind, what he was searching for on the internet. This all goes to CCP, and not just for the establishment of the aggravator, but as to the weight that it should be given by the jury. These searches are absolutely relevant. The fact that they are unpleasant. The state doesn't seek to introduce pleasant evidence. Yes, it is against the defendant, but this is what the defendant was searching for, and that's why the state seeks to admit it. It goes to CCP.
I thought these were comments.
They are.
You said searching for.
Their searches and their comments, they're what the defendant has put on the internet, Your Honor.
But the two things that I'm looking at are comments that I assume you made in reference to a YouTube video. It says YouTube comments. Yes.
Judge, this is, what I'm handing you is the actual copies of all the evidence. I just gave you 2 examples, or Mr. Satz gave you one and I gave you one. This is where everything...
But the specific objections are to these two comments. On October 23rd, 2017, there's a YouTube comment that has 3 comments that were made. 2 on October 23rd and 1 on October 31st regarding a mass murder, hating people, and so on and so forth. You're only objecting to the second comment on that as to more specific grounds.
With more specific grounds, Judge, but just to reiterate, overall objecting based on 401 and 402.
I understand. And then on the comment, I guess the document summarizing YouTube comments made on July 3rd, 4th, and 5th of 2017, you only have a more specific objection to the comment made July 4th, 2017 at 12:38:14 a.m. Universal time.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what that means either. But about the families.
Yes, Judge.
Other than that, it's a general objection.
under 401 and 403, yes, Your Honor. So
So-
all the social media.
Okay, so the documents that Mr. Marcus is talking about, you have a general objection, not a specific objection.
Yes.
And I don't mean to downplay your objection, I'm just trying to make sure I understand the difference.
No, I understand.
These are the defendant's thoughts, Your Honor. This shows his state of mind. These are from what I'm looking at on October 23rd, 2017, the comments that the defense is objecting to.
Right.
October 23rd, 2017, this is shortly in temporal proximity to when the murders took place. This clearly shows what he's thinking about, what he wants to do, and what he actually did. And these are his comments. And it goes to CCP, the aggravator, and it goes to the weight that these jurors can give. And they follow each other in sequence. I mean, I understand that the defense doesn't want these comments read in open court, and I will respect that as long as the court can follow along and see the sequential order of the comments.
I can.
And Judge, as to the October 23rd, 2017 comment that was posted at 11:26:09 p.m., the specific issue is the first part of the sentence.
Okay.
Right? So our request is to redact that first part. I don't think it takes anything out of context in regards to the aggravator that Ms. McCann has placed on the record.
The defendant has already pleaded guilty to 17 counts of murder, Your Honor. So I don't think taking anything out is going to change anything. It's certainly not going to lessen any prejudice. As I stated before, Your Honor, the state in these proceedings is only going to introduce prejudicial evidence against the defendant. It is our job to present aggravating factors. It's the defendant's job to present mitigating circumstances. We wouldn't be introducing this unless it was relevant to our job to present aggravation.
The problem with the first part of that comment, Your Honor, again, is that it is anticipatory rebuttal. It doesn't particularly go to CCP. I can see the state's and respect the state's argument on the second half of that.
I mean, how would it be any different if I were to say, no one's ever hurt me, but I like to hurt people?
I would argue that that would be anticipatory rebuttal if the state was to bring the first part of that comment.
But wouldn't it be just me explaining that there's no reason for what I want to do, I just want to do it?
Respectfully, I disagree. I think that using those first four words and allowing them to be introduced is the state's way of trying to get rebuttal in when it's inappropriate.
So you're suggesting that it may not be admissible in the state's case in chief, but it might be admissible depending on what you put on your case as rebuttal evidence?
And stating possibly that those particular words may be some, without getting into what our case is, Judge.
Okay.
It may be relevant rebuttal at that point, but it is not appropriate at this point.
Okay, state, here's your exhibit back in your, I think this is just a copy of an exhibit, and I'm going to wait to hear the context and the relevance, and I will go then. But you can, note your objection, renew your objection, and then I'll decide.
Okay, and that goes for also the other comment from July 2017, where the argument I made regarding inviting the jury to use victim impact evidence as an aggravating factor.
Yes, I'm going to rule at the time as to both of them.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seated.
Okay. Are we ready to bring in the jury? You're my point person, Ms. Basherman, from the defense for this witness?
I don't, if it's Dr.
Dr. Malik is going to be first, right?
Okay,
He
so
came
you're
in
next.
from out of town, so we want
Okay, no problem.
Sir, I can be the point person on this.
Sometimes I don't know who to look to for the objection, and that's fine. I can figure it out.
Bring the jurors in, Judge.
Okay, the jurors are present. State, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Dr. Craig Malik.
Just remain standing for the song.
Good afternoon, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Yes, my name is Craig Thomas Malik, M-A-L-L-A-K.
Good afternoon, Dr. Malik.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hatz.
And what is your occupation, sir?
I'm a forensic pathologist.
Okay. Could you briefly give us a history of your education, sir?
Yes, sir. I attended Michigan State University and received a degree in forensic sciences working in a crime lab. From there, I went to Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska, and I got both my JD, my law degree, and my medical degree. The Navy put me through medical school, so I went right off to active duty after medical school. After the first year of residency, I was sent out with the Marines for a year as a general medical officer. They call you a regimental surgeon, but you're basically just a general medical officer. And then after that, went back and finished my residency both in Oakland and then at Bethesda at the National Naval Medical Center. From there, I was sent to the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology, which is on the grounds of the old Walter Reed, which is now closed, and specialized in forensic pathology. And I'm board certified in anatomic and clinical, hospital pathology, and then forensic pathology.
Okay, and you were in the Navy at the time?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened with your career with the Navy?
After I finished my fellowship, I was sent to Okinawa, Japan to be the Armed Forces Medical Examiner for the Far East, and I served in various other capacities there. From there, I was sent to Millington, Tennessee, which is right outside Memphis, where Naval Personnel Command is, to do an administrative tour as a detail. And I wrote the orders and sent people all over the world. And I was about to get out and come down to Florida, actually, and then 9/11 happened, and I was called and asked if I wanted to be the Chief Armed Forces Medical Examiner. And in that role, not only the military, but there are no other forensic pathologists at the federal level, so we worked for all federal agencies. And right after I got there, the Space Shuttle Columbia crashed, and I was in charge of the medical investigation of that. And then the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan broke out. And we worked very, very hard. And one of the things that I really am the most proud of is there are no MIAs or POWs from either of those conflicts. Everybody has been accounted for. And so there's no family that doesn't know. And as the war wound down, I started to go out and interviewed for a civilian job. And I came down here thinking this is just a practice interview. And the next thing I know, they're calling me and asking me if I want to be the chief medical examiner here in 2012. And I stayed here for 9 years. We were very busy with the opioid epidemic, FLACA, if you remember FLACA, COVID, we had the airport incident where 5 people were shot, the nursing home, the overheating issue there following the hurricane, and of course this tragedy here.
Okay. With reference to, just briefly, how many autopsies in your career, Dr. Malik, have you performed?
It's in the thousands.
Okay, and how many of those autopsies were the result of gunshot wounds?
Well, especially in the military during 2 wars, there were lots of gunshot wounds, so hundreds and hundreds of gunshot wounds.
Okay. And you're familiar then with small arms, gunshot wounds, and rifle AR-15 type wounds?
Definitely.
Okay. And have you testified as an expert in forensic pathology in a court of record?
Yes.
How many times?
Probably been well more than 1,000 times in courts, state courts, international tribunals, federal level, throughout the judicial system around the world.
Okay. Dr. Malik, more specifically, I'd like to take you to Thursday, February the 15th, 2018. Did you have an occasion to perform an autopsy on one Carol Logren?
Yes.
Okay. I want to first show you State's Exhibit 109 is that Carol Logren?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And showing you State's exhibits for identification, Dr. Malik, 22S, 22R, 22Q, 22P, 22O, 22N, and 22M. Dr. Malik, would you be good enough to take a look at these exhibits and see if we can identify them for me, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Where are they?
These are photographs that were taken during my examination.
Of Carol Logren?
Of Carol.
On Thursday, February 15, 2018.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Malik, would these exhibits help you in illustrating to the court and to the jury the nature of her wounds?
Yes.
And would those photographs, those exhibits, assist you in explaining to the court and to the jury the manner and cause of death of Carol Logren?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Malik. Your Honor, I'd like to offer these exhibits, please. I've seen them, thank you.
Okay, is there any objection from the defense?
This one we object to the DMIL 12, and just incorporate all arguments and authorities therein. Thank you.
Thank you. Over the defense objection, states 22M, like Mary, will be received as 430. 22N, like Nancy, 431. 22O, 432. 22P, 433. 22Q, 434. 22R, 435. And 22S, like Sam, 436.
Dr. Malik, I want to show you State's Exhibit marked 430. Can you see that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you explain, you have that one wound marked A. Could you explain what that is and what your findings were, sir?
This is an entrance wound from a gunshot.
Okay. And what damage did that cause?
That bullet pathway went across to the right side of the chest and caused injury to the vena cava, which is the large artery that brings blood back to the heart, and then portions of it were found in the right breast tissue.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked B, and B appears to be right next to where you had the arrow for A, correct?
Yes.
And how about this? What is that?
That is another entrance wound from a gunshot.
And the path and damage of that bullet, sir?
That followed the same pathway as gunshot wound A.
Okay. And State's Exhibit marked 432, and you have a gunshot wound appears to the back, labeled D?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us about that wound?
Yes, that's a third entrance wound that entered the side of the chest.
And damage?
Damage to the chest wall, and then severe damage to the heart.
Okay. Of those three wounds, Dr. Malik, A, B, and D, would any of them any of the three in and of themselves cause fatal injury?
Oh, definitely D.
D, definitely D. And A and B?
Potentially salvageable.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit 433.
This is what a term that we came up with in the military called the ballistic impact point. As these bullets hit the floor and walls, they fragment, and they lose a lot of their energy, and they will just hit the skin and maybe go a little ways under the skin and then stop. This wound here does not continue beyond where you see it.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 434.
This one looks like a gunshot wound again, but it's a ballistic impact point. Again, there's nothing underneath the skin. There's no pathway. It stopped right there.
Okay. And as a result of your autopsy, Dr. Malik, were you able to determine the cause of death of Carol Logren?
Yes, sir.
And what was the cause of death?
Multiple gunshot wounds.
Okay. And showing you State's Exhibit 435. What does that show?
These are some of the fragments that were recovered from the pathway. As you can imagine, they're all basically in the same area, so it's difficult to say which bullet these came from.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 436.
And again, this shows 2 copper jackets, and a third piece of copper jacket, and then 2 internal parts of the bullet, the lead from the internal from the bullet.
And Doctor, in your experience, you've seen handgun wounds and AR-15 type wounds, correct?
Yeah, it's high velocity versus low velocity.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Well, on a handgun, they usually travel around 1,200 feet per second. The bullet does. They vary a little bit, but with these types of this type of munition, it's a very small bullet. It's a .22 caliber bullet, but it's moving at over 3,000 feet per second. And so as it enters the body, it causes this temporary cavity around it, but there's so much energy with these bullets. And so it just tears skin, bone, organs for 20 to 30 times bigger than the diameter of the actual bullet as it imparts its energy as it goes through the body.
And Doctor, were you able to form an opinion with reference to wounds A, B, and D on Carol Logren? Were you able to form an opinion as to the order of shots hitting her body?
Now, it's difficult to tell, but the 2 on the top of her shoulder, there was a lot of hemorrhage with them. Once the wound from the back left side of her body severely injured the heart, now you're opening up the system, the blood pressure is going to drop right away, and you're not going to see that much hemorrhage around it. So the D entrance wound is probably sometime after the first 2.
Okay. And that D was the wound to the back?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Malik. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Steve, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Nick Masters, please.
please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down and be seated. And when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is Detective Nikolas Masters, Masters.
Good afternoon, Detective Masters.
Good afternoon.
What is your occupation?
I'm a detective with the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
All right. How long have you been with the Broward County Sheriff's Office?
I've been with the Broward Sheriff's Office for almost 19 years.
Okay. And what is your present assignment?
I'm currently assigned to the Strategic Investigations Division in the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit.
Okay. And I'd like to call your attention back to February of 2018. What was your assignment at that point?
The same. I was assigned to the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit.
Okay. And what are your duties and responsibilities?
So as a detective assigned to that unit, I investigate child pornography cases, but I also assist other units as well as other agencies in the analysis of electronic data.
Okay. So that's what you do, forensic data analysis?
Yes, electronic data analysis.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
Currently around about 9 years.
Okay. And please tell us what training and education you have had to be involved in electronic data analysis.
I went through the basic police academy. I've also attended numerous forensic courses, Cellbrite, certified operator, and physical analysis. For cell phone analysis, the extraction and analysis of data from vehicle infotainment systems out of vehicles. Numerous other forensic classes involving the preservation and collection of digital data.
Okay. And have you ever testified as an expert in forensic data analysis, electronic data analysis in a court of record?
In electronic data, yes, I've testified in 10 federal cases.
Okay. I'd like to call your attention to this case. Specifically, February the 14th, 2018. Did you become involved in this case against Nikolas Cruz?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when did you get involved in it?
Shortly after we were made aware of the incident, around 2:45 to 3 o'clock.
Okay. And as a result of your investigation and based on your experience in the position you had with the Broward Sheriff's Office, did you evaluate any social media analysis?
Yes, we were receiving different social media accounts through the analyst teams at the Strategic Investigations Division, and then we were also monitoring intel that was coming in over the radio.
Okay. So let me now show you State's Exhibit Mark 23N. And Detective Masters, tell me what that is.
These are the YouTube comments, or some of the YouTube comments from the Nicholas Jacob Cruz at gmail.com account.
Oh, okay. And there are some certain comments. How did you find those comments?
I conducted searches looking for various keywords and topics related to mass shootings and other types of violence.
Okay. And you received what from whom to review it?
So these were records that were provided by Google,
Okay.
and that's what the attached documents are their record certifications, which was linked, this account was linked through the YouTube records through the Uber records that we obtained.
Okay. And were there many items that you went through to pick out these particular items?
Yes.
Okay. Was it come in a disc?
They give us a download through their law enforcement portal.
Okay. And you reviewed the download and you picked out certain comments, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And attached to that is a certificate from Google?
Yes, sir.
For what?
They're just authenticating that these are records that they keep in their general business, and then giving a list of the files that they provided.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23N.
Defense, is there any objection to the admission of State's Exhibit 23N, like Nancy, for identification?
Yes, Judge, I'd like to review my earlier objections, specifically from arguments made in D 175, D 213, D MIL 10.
Okay, your objection is noted. Over the defense objection, 23N, like Nancy, will be received as State's 437.
Detective Masters, now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 437. And you testified they're YouTube comments, right?
I can't see it yet.
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want me to make it bigger?
No, I can read those.
Let's see. Oops. Okay. So these are the comments you got from Google for YouTube comments, right?
Yes, sir.
So it lists the creation date. That means the date the comments were made.
Yes, it does.
And then it lists the comment, okay?
Yes, sir.
So could you go and read the dates and the comments for us?
Yes, August 30th, 2017, at 5:29 and 15 seconds p.m. UTC, which is Universal Coordinated Time. I plan on shooting them soon, year 2020, date of massacre unknown, location unknown, somewhere in Florida.
Okay.
The next one is September 2, 2017, 6:56 and 39 seconds p.m. UTC. Just want to kill people. September 8th, 2017, 1:51 and 14 seconds p.m. UTC. I rather kill people, 2020. September 16, 2017, 3:53:25 a.m. UTC. The amount of time it took for the police to come, I think this is fake. September 18, 2017, 12:25, 26 seconds a.m. UTC. I hide it deep within and think about killing people. September 18, 2017, at 12:42 and 43 seconds a.m. UTC. The last part makes me scared what happens when I have no one. I am 18, still in high school, and everyone is on their way to college while I am there thinking about killing people and ending their lives. I hate my life, and I want to take people with me. September 22, 2017, at 4:21:45 seconds a.m. UTC. I fucking hate humans. September 24th, 2017, 11:49 and 1 second p.m. UTC. I'm going to be a professional school shooter. September 28, 2017, 5:22 and 41 seconds p.m. UTC. My life sucks. I failed high school. I'm going to go on a killing rampage. October 10th, 2017, 5:37 and 14 seconds a.m. UTC. I'm going to kill a lot of fucking people. I hate you all after what happened in Las Vegas. I had enough. October 10th, 2017, at 6:36, 54 seconds a.m. UTC. I have no problem shooting a girl in the chest. October 13, 2017, 2:13 and 38 seconds a.m. UTC. I hate everyone and everything. I fucking go into a bad part of town and make a sniper nest and kill people. Just don't give a fuck about life. January 17, 2018, at 4:37 and 20 seconds a.m. UTC. I hate people. January 17, 2018, at 5:52 and 33 seconds p.m. UTC. I want to kill shit ton of people and murder children. January 17, 2018, at 6:12 and 30 seconds p.m. UTC. I want to kill people. January 30th, 2018, at 4:38 and 48 seconds a.m. UTC. I hate people.
Okay. That was YouTube comments. And now I'm going to show you. State's Exhibit marked 23M.
Detective Masters, and if you could take a look at this, please, and tell me what that is.
This is the search history events from the Nikolas Cruz at gmail.com email account.
Okay, and what's it a search?
So whenever you are logged into a Google account and you are using something such as Google as your search engine, they log each and every search that you use, or even if you use anything on the Chrome browser, they keep track of all of that and tie it back to your account.
And is there an authenticity from Google?
Yes, there is.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23M.
Defense, is there any additional objection?
No,
To
just-
23M like Mary?
Just wanted to renew our objection previously notated.
Okay, so noted. Over the defense objection states 23M like Mary for identification will be received as 438.
Okay, Detective Masters, now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 438. And searches. You able to read that okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And there are your initials at the bottom?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right, so explain what this is.
So this is how the Google searches are provided as far as the text. We've formatted them out of the text document that they provide to make it more organized. But the first part shows a date and time stamp, again in UTC time, and then it shows the searched for, so that's what was actually searched for. Anything after the word for is what was actually typed into the search engine or the browser. And then below it shows how Google actually displays that link in your web browser URL bar.
Okay. So would you be good enough to read them for us?
Yes, sir. So it's August 24th, 2017 at 19:56 and 24 seconds UTC. Search for Charlottesville shooting. On August 30th, 2017 at 12:50 and 10 seconds UTC, he searched for the Polytech massacre. On August 30th, 2017 at 13:09 and 40 seconds UTC, searched for Columbine High School massacre. On August 30th, 2017 at 13:27:54 UTC, searched for Virginia Tech massacre. On September 2nd, 2017 at 18:12 and 9 seconds UTC, he searched for 5.56 ammo. On September 2nd, 2017 at 18:12 and 27 seconds UTC, he searched for 5.56 ammo for sale 1,000 rounds. On September 2nd, 2017 at 20:26 and 23 seconds UTC, he searched for Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport with 2 handguards. On September 2nd, 2017 at 20:27 and 37 seconds UTC, he searched for M&P 15 Sport handguard length. On September 14th, 2017 at 0000 hours, 4 minutes and 24 seconds UTC, searched for Virginia Tech massacre. September 14th, 2017 at 00:07 minutes and 19 seconds UTC, he searched for Polytech massacre. On September 18th, 2017 at 03:13 and 38 seconds UTC, searched for 1,000 rounds 5.56. On September 18th, 2017 at 20:01 and 1 second UTC, searched for 5.56 tracer rounds.
Okay, and here's the second page.
On October 3rd, 2017 at 22:55 and 21 seconds UTC, searched for how many rounds were fired during the Las Vegas massacre. October 6, 2017 at 00:54 minutes, 49 seconds UTC, searched for AR-15 mags. On October 10th, 2017 at 1:42 and 10 seconds UTC, searched for Aurora shooting victims. October 10th, 2017 at 1:43 and 4 seconds UTC, searched for Aurora shooting victims list. On October 10th, 2017 at 1:43 and 37 seconds UTC, searched for Aurora shooting how many rounds. October 10th, 2017 at 1:44 and 24 seconds, searched for Aurora shooting how many rounds were fired. October 10th, 2017 at 2:42 and 43 seconds UTC, search for Aurora massacre.
Okay. Okay, Detective Masters, now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit Mark 23L for identification. Let's see if you can identify what that is.
This is the YouTube search events, also provided by Google and the Nikolas Jacob Cruz at gmail.com account, along with the record certification.
Okay, and you compiled that, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23L.
defense, do you have any objection to the court receiving what's been marked for identification as state's composite exhibit L?
Judge, I'd just like to renew my previous objections as it pertains to the Nikolas Cruz Gmail account.
The specific objection that you spoke about earlier is not contained. Either of the two more specific objections are not contained in this document. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Okay. Over the objection of the defense states 23L, like Larry, for identification will be received as 439. Do you need a binder for what this means, or it doesn't get
Yeah, that'd be great.
separated? Because I think only the last page is marked.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
It's an 18-page document, is that correct? I'm just double checking, I'm not questioning the... I'll keep it around my hands.
How many pages are there? Okay. Detective Master is now showing you State's Exhibit 439, consisting of 18 pages. Tell us what this is.
So these are the YouTube search events. So similar to when you conduct a search, either using the Google search engine or the Chrome browser, whenever you type in a search utilizing YouTube, so whether it's on their website or using the application on a mobile device, they also maintain those records and track what you're searching.
Okay. You want to read those for us, please?
Yes. June 15th, 2017 at 19:48 and 10 seconds UTC. Search for McDonald's mass shooting. August 8th, 2017 at 5:57 and 11 seconds UTC. Searched for pumped up kicks, Columbine High School. August 9th, 2017 at 20:17 and 17 seconds UTC. Searched for how to become evil in society. August 10th, 2017 at 1:58 and 9 seconds UTC. Search for pumped up kicks, Columbine High School. August 19th, 2017 at 20:15-21 UTC. Search for park shooting. August 25th, 2017 at 17:08 and 36 seconds UTC. Search for Charlottesville shooting. August 28th, 2017 at 17:26 and 52 seconds UTC. Search for how to shoot at 500 yards. August 31st, 2017 at 19:51 and 45 seconds UTC. Searched for Polytech massacre.
Okay. And page 2 of that exhibit?
August 31st, 2017 at 21:42:49 UTC. Search for wanting to kill people. September 1st, 2017 at 9:09:25 UTC. Search for school massacre kids with guns. September 1st, 2017 at 17:47:07 UTC, searched for Columbine Massacre song. September 6, 2017, at 0:28:37 UTC, searched for Massacre in Hotel. September 6, 2017, at 0:29:09 UTC, searched for Massacre. September 6, 2017, at 0:29:45, searched for Russian Massacre short film. September 8, 2017, at 17:14:15 UTC, searched for Killing People. September 11, 2017, at 1:16 UTC, searched for AR-15 shooting.
And page 3.
September 14th, 2017, at 0:39:57 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre. September 14th, 2017, at 0:40:07 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre full movie. September 16th, 2017, at 3:47:48 UTC, searched for Virginia Tech Massacre. September 16th, 2017, at 15:18:35 UTC, searched for LA Killing Rampage. September 16th, 2017, at 17:19:45 UTC, searched for Mass Murderers. September 16th, 2017, at 17:20:33 UTC, searched for The Virgin Killer. September 16th, 2017, at 17:20:54 UTC, searched for Elliot Rodger. September 18th, 2017, at 0:26:20 UTC, searched for Pumped Up Kicks Columbine High School.
Do you know who Elliot Rodger is?
Yes, he's a mass shooter who is also known as the Virgin Killer.
Okay. Page 4.
September 18th, 2017, at 0:45:28 UTC, he searched for Virginia Tech Massacre. September 18th, 2017, at 2:44:35 UTC, searched for Shooting People. September 18th, 2017, 3:23:53 UTC, searched for 1,000 rounds 5.56. September 26, 2017, 10:01:59 UTC, searched for Pumped Up Kicks Columbine High School. September 27, 2017, at 9:50:16 UTC, searched for Pumped Up Kicks Columbine High School. September 27, 2017, at 17:13:14 UTC, searched for AR-15 Tactical Shooting. September 28, 2017, at 3:48:16 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre Pump Up Kicks.
And page 5.
September 29, 2017, at 0:56:14 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre full video. October 3rd, 2017, at 4:02:59 UTC, searched for the gun that was used in the Las Vegas massacre. October 4th, 2017, at 1:41:17 UTC, searched for 100-round drum AR-15. October 4th, 2017, at 14:12:49 UTC, searched for AR-15 shooting. October 5th, 2017, at 8:59:42 UTC, searched for left-handed AR-15. October 5th, 2017, at 16:55:19 UTC, searched for 40-round AR mag. October 6th, 2017, at 17:45:40 UTC, searched for 10-round mag. October 6, 2017, at 17:46 UTC, searched for 10-round AR-15 mag.
And page 6.
October 6, 2017, 18:39:06 UTC, searched for PMG 10-round AR-15 shooting. October 6, 2017, at 18:45:44, searched for AR-15 10-round mag shooting. October 8th, 2017, at 234112 UTC, search for Pumped Up Kicks, Columbine High School. October 13th, 2017, at 205554 UTC, search for AR-15 tracer ammo. October 16th, 2017, at 204037 UTC, search for shootout with cops. October 16th, 2017, at 204922 UTC, searched for criminal shootout with cops. October 16th, 2017, at 211230 UTC, searched for AR-15 shootout. October 16th, 2017, at 233016 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre full movie.
And page 7.
October 16, 2017, at 233057 UTC, searched for Polytech Massacre Pump-Up Kicks. October 19, 2017, 171215 UTC, searched for school shooting. October 20th, 2017, 6:15:53 UTC, searched for top 10 murders caught on camera. October 20th, 2017, 6:16:30 UTC, searched for top 10 murders caught on tape. December 11th, 2017, at 21:09:59, searched for shooting at girls. December 11th, 2017, at 21:16:26, searched for shooting at women. December 12th, 2017, at 17:03:08, searched for Russian massacre short film. January 13th, 2018, at 5:57:28 UTC, searched for Virginia Tech massacre.
Okay. And page 8.
January 13th, 2018, at 5:58:09 UTC, search for Virginia Tech massacre documentary. January 13th, 2018, at 6:16:43 UTC, search for being shot with AR-15. January 13th, 2018, at 6:17:54 UTC, searched for shot with AR-15. January 13th, 2018, at 16:24:45 UTC, searched for shooting people. January 14th, 2018, at 5:07:37 UTC, searched for kill people. January 15th, 2018, at 17:50:37 UTC, searched for AK-47 massacre. January 16th, 2018, at 5:17:37 UTC, searched for how massacre works. January 16th, 2018, at 5:18:07 UTC, search for Las Vegas shooting. January 16th, 2018, at 19:37:30 UTC, search for school shooting song.
Okay. Page 9.
January 16th, 2018, 19:42:30 UTC, search for Columbine pump-up kicks. January 17th, 2018, at 0:34 UTC, search for perfect murder weapon. January 18th, 2018, 4:51:19 UTC, searched for killing people. January 18th, 2018, at 6:12:53 UTC, searched for school shooter. January 19th, 2018, at 4:23:39 UTC, searched for why I want to kill women. January 19th, 2018, at 18:19:15 UTC, searched for best places for a massacre. January 19th, 2018, 18:20:13 UTC, searched for Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 meltdown. January 20th, 2018, 17:58:24 UTC, searched for massacre.
And page 10.
January 20th, 2018, 17:59:50 UTC, searched for Las Vegas shooting. January 22nd, 2018, at 1:07:10 UTC, searched for killing people. January 22nd, 2018, at 1:20:20 UTC, searched for massacre. January 22nd, 2018,
20903 UTC, searched for murder. January 24th, 2018, 174725 UTC, searched for killing people. January 24th, 2018, 175831 UTC, searched for shooting people. January 27th, 2018, 174358 UTC, searched for Virginia Tech massacre. January 28th, 2018, at 13:08:24 UTC, searched for Eric and Dylan. January 28th, 2018, 13:08:35 UTC, searched for Eric and Dylan documentary.
And Detective Masters, you know who Eric and Dylan are?
Yes, sir. They are the shooters from the Columbine massacre.
Page 11.
January 28th, 2018, 14:54:51 UTC, searched for school shooting video. January 30th, 2018, 4:39:51 UTC, searched for school shooting fail. February 2nd, 2018, 14:45:51, searched for mall massacre lesson. February 2nd, 2018, 14:35:38 UTC, searched for mall massacre active self-defense. February 7th, 2018, 13:21:40 UTC, searched for guitar case. February 13th, 2018, 17:14:10, searched for school shooters.
So Detective Masters, now I want to show you State's Exhibit marked 23K for identification. Yes, if you can identify this.
These are some of the search history events from the Linda Cruz 1949 at gmail.com account.
Okay, and how's that related to the Nikolas Cruz account?
So when the Broward Sheriff's Office first obtained the data from the Nicholas Jacob Cruz email account, they provide a document that shows the linked accounts, the accounts that are linked both by SMS or text message. When you get a validation text message when you first sign up, they link those accounts by that phone number, and then they also link different accounts based upon your web browser cookie. So that's a small file that's on your computer that tracks your movement around and tells them when the same computer has visited the same website or the same servers over a different period of time. They keep track of all those different accounts, and that's how we identified Linda Cruz 1949.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to end this an authenticity certificate from Google.
Yes, there's also a certificate of authenticity with it.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23K.
Thank you. These are, all of these pages are part of the same composite exhibit?
Yes, one's the authentication.
objection to the court receiving what's been marked for identification 23K, as in kangaroo?
Yes, Judge, I'll renew all previous objections made today, as well as arguments in D-180, D-218, and D-MIL-10.
Okay, thank you. Over the defense objection states 23K will be received as states 440.
Now, Detective Master showing you State's Exhibit 440. What is this?
These are the Google search history events from the Linda Cruz 1949 at gmail.com account.
Okay. Did you read this for us?
Yes. November 15th, 2017 at 15:16:05 UTC, searched for Stoneman Douglas. November 15th, 2017 at 16:18:20 UTC, searched for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. November 16th, 2017, 19:29:30 UTC, searched for I Want to Kill People. December 23rd, 2017 at 4:41:08 UTC, searched for Massacre. December 23rd, 2017 at 4:41:28 UTC, searched for Massacre Killing. December 23rd, 2017, 4:41:46 UTC, searched for Killing People. January 13th, 2018, 16:57:23 UTC, searched for Stoneman Douglas. January 13th, 2018, at 3:25:02, searched for Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 firing pin.
Page 2.
January 16th, 2018, at 20:54:14 UTC, searched for school shooting books. January 28th, 2018, 14:51:33 UTC, searched for school shooter test. January 28th, 2018, at 14:44:32 UTC, searched for how to become a school shooter. January 30th, 2018, at 17:50:51 UTC, searched for Aurora shooting victims. January 31st, 2018, at 22:43:36, searched for Aurora massacre. January 31st, 2018, at 23:05:46 UTC, searched for school shooting. February 2nd, 2018, at 14:19:28 UTC, searched for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. February 2nd, 2018, at 15:11:44 UTC, searched for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas school hours.
Page 3.
February 2nd, 2018, at 15:19:45 UTC, searched for Stoneman Douglas school map. February 3rd, 2018, at 5:49:38 UTC, searched for school shooting. February 7th, 2018, at 1:01:16 seconds UTC, searched for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. February 7th, 2018, at 13:22:27 UTC, searched for soft guitar case. February 10th, 2018, 23:46:33 UTC, searched for school shooters. February 12th, 2018, 17:40:04 UTC, searched for school shooters. February 12th, 2018, at 17:40:23 UTC, searched for school shooter YouTube.
And page 4.
February 13th, 2018, at 0:125:52 UTC, searched for how long does it take for a cop to show up at a school shooting. February 14th, 2018, at 03:06:22, searched for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
Okay, Detective Masters, I'm going to show you now. State's Exhibit marked 2023G. Ask you, Detective Masters, take a look at this.
These are the YouTube comments that were associated with the Nikolas Cruz Macavor at Gmail account.
Sorry.
Gmail account along with the record certification.
Okay. And you compiled those comments?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now I'd like to open out State's Exhibit marked 23G.
Mr. Sachs, just real quick.
Sure, of course. Yeah, that's G.
Other than the objections previously raised, defense, do you have any objection to the court admitting 23G as in George?
No, Justice, the previous objection made earlier this afternoon, as well as renewing arguments from D-178, D-215, D-MIL-10.
Okay, over the defense objection states Exhibit 23G for identification will be received in its entirety in 441. As 441, excuse me.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 441, Detective Masters. Could you tell us what that is?
These are the YouTube comments provided by Google that are associated with the Nikolas Cruz Macavor account.
Okay, could you read that for us, please?
Yes. July 3rd, 2017, at 10:39:54 p.m. UTC. When I turn 21, I am going to kill people. July 3rd, 2017, at 11:45:05 p.m. UTC. In 2020, you will hear me on the news doing this. July 4th, 2017, 12:11:35 a.m. UTC. On the night of my massacre, you are not forgotten, Elliot. May you RIP. July 4th, 2017, 12:35 a.m. UTC. It makes me happy to see people die. With a smiley face emoji. July 4th, 2017, at 12:38:14 a.m. UTC. I love to see the families suffer. July 4th, 2017, at 7:20:57 p.m. UTC. I want to kill people. July 5th, 2017, at 3:27:25 a.m. UTC. I think about killing people, though. July 5th, 2017, at 3:47:17 a.m. UTC. I want to kill people.
And showing you Now, State's Exhibit marked 23J for identification.
Actually, Mr. Sutz, before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 15-minute break. Please do not discuss the case. Please leave your notepads on your chairs, and we'll be back with you shortly. Thank you. The jury's been excused. There are a few people that needed a break. You all may be seated. Mr. Stats or State, I don't know what the next document is that you intend to introduce, if it's one that we litigated before court. If you show it to me, I can remember.
Yeah, wait a minute.
One of them was, yeah, but I think this is the,
Is this the next one?
Here you
Yes, that's the one that I made.
I'm going to,
Should we, Detective Masters, take a break, or you?
I don't think it's necessary. In
Okay.
fact, he might need to hear this.
Okay.
I am going to grant the defense motion and that first 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in the case in chief need to be redacted. However, if it becomes an issue in the defense case, that's a totally different ruling. Ms. Basham, you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, how
So,
about,
do you, or you need to make a copy of it?
if you give us some time, we'll just make a copy without that line there, or we can,
Sure, we have a photocopier, you all don't have one here. Oh, you have one. Oh, so if you need this tape,
We can make it now.
okay.
okay.
All right, so we're in recess for 15 minutes now, Detective, you may feel free to. Defendant is present. Are both sides ready to finish the witness testimony and we'll bring in the jurors and then finish the witness testimony? Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Okay. bring in the jurors, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
You said 4 lines, but I think you meant 4 words, right?
Yes,
Okay, that's what we took.
thank you.
Do you have Ms. Maxey at Mr. Sack?
Wait, please.
Okay, the jurors are present. Everyone may be seated and state whenever you're ready. You can continue with your question.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Detective Masters, now I show you State's Exhibit 23J. Ask you if you can identify that.
Yes, sir. It's the Nikolas Cruz Makarov at gmail.com YouTube comments with the business record certification.
And did you compile this?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to call for State's Exhibit 23J.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there any specific objection other than what was previously raised?
Yes, Judge, just arguments that were made in D-177, D-214, and D-MIL-10.
Okay, over the defense objection, State's Exhibit 23J for identification will be received as 442.
Now I'm going to show you Detective Masters' State's Exhibit 442. And what is this?
These are the YouTube comments from the Nikolas Cruz Makarov Google account.
Okay. How do you link all these accounts to the defendant, Nikolas Jacob Cruz?
So all of these accounts were linked based upon the browser cookies that I had spoken about earlier, where the same web browser or device was utilized to log into each one of these accounts.
Okay. And did you have anything to do with the Uber account?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
So with the Uber account, I did the initial emergency records request and reviewed that, and that's where the first the Nikolas Jacob Cruz at Gmail account came from.
Okay, so based on that information that you originally had, you linked all these other accounts, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so with the Nikolas Cruz Makarov, want to tell us what this says?
Yes, on July 17th, 2017, at 12:57:07 a.m. UTC, the comment was, "They did pretty good. Should have had killed more people. It's more of a 2-shot to confirm a kill. It's called double tap. If they would have done that, it would have been more like a 36 kill count, like what happened in McDonald's, but pretty good in all with the weapons they had to." July 26, 2017, 12:22:23 a.m. UTC. I am a level 3 psychopath. Woo ha 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 ha. Blood ha ha ja ja. 2020. July 26, 2017 at 1:18:30 a.m. UTC. May Cho, R.I.P. He's just like me. 2020. You fucking bastards. Fuck society.
Who is Cho, do you know?
He is the shooter from the Virginia Tech massacre.
Okay.
July 26, 2017 at 3:44:11 a.m. UTC. I want to join the Army for the chance to kill people and end life. July 26, 2017 at 6:13:18 p.m. UTC. What a little pussy, you're supposed to do one fucking thing and you only managed to fucking injured one person. You little fucking pussy, I would have killed everyone, not ask a question and kill everyone. July 26, 2017 at 6:15:46 p.m. UTC. No mercy, no questions, always double tap. July 31st, 2017, 4:10:58 a.m. UTC. I already see my future, nothing but loneliness. I wish to keep something in the history books like Eric and Dylan. For that, you will hear me on the news 2020. July 31st, 2017 at 5:23:05 a.m. UTC. I'm going to kill people, 2020 people. September 11th, 2017 at 7:03:33 p.m. UTC. I fucking shoot all of them.
And now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit marked 23H. Take a look at that. See if we can do all that.
Yes, these are the YouTube comments from the Antifa Killer 69 Google account.
Okay. How did you tie in Antifa Killer 69 to Nikolas Cruz?
Utilizing the same method with the same document from the Nikolas Jacob Cruz Gmail account, where they listed the matching phone numbers for the SMS connection as well as the web browser cookie.
Okay, and I forgot to ask you about Linda Cruz, 1949. How did you link that to Nikolas Cruz?
That was through the same method. That was also linked through the browser cookie.
And do you know who Linda Cruz is?
The defendant's stepmother, I believe.
Okay. And do you know when she passed away?
I believe it was November 1st of 2017.
Okay. All right, so with State's Exhibit Antifa Killer, did you compile that?
I did.
Okay. I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23H.
Thank you. Okay, is there any objection?
Yes, Judge. Just renew previous objections from earlier today, as well as arguments in D-178, D-215, and D-MIL-10.
Okay, over the defense objection, the state's composite 23H will be received in part in its current form as 443.
The 443 State's Exhibit 443, Detective Masters. Show it to you right now. What is that?
These are the YouTube comments provided by Google, which associate with the Antifa Killer 69 Google account.
Okay, could you read that for us?
October 31st, 2017, at 9:16:32 p.m. UTC. It's over. My time is almost here. Fuck all of you. Fuck you all. Muahahahaha. I hope I kill you all. October 23rd, 2017, 11:26:09 p.m. UTC. I just hate people in general. October 23rd, 2017, 9:29:04 p.m. UTC. I'm a mass murderer. I'm a mass murderer with interesting thoughts of death and destruction.
And State's Exhibit marked 23I. For identification, Detective Masters, take a look at that.
Yes, this is the Google search history for Nikolas Cruz Makarov.
Okay, and how did you tie that to Nikolas Cruz?
Through the same method with the web browser cookie and the SMS.
Okay, and did you compile that?
I did.
Okay, and it has the authenticity certificate from Google?
It does.
Your Honor, at this time I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 23I.
Okay, is there any objection?
Yes, Judge. Previous objections that were made earlier today, and the D numbers have already been placed on the record.
Okay. Over the defense objection, State's composite exhibit 23I will be received as 444.
Detective Masters, now show you State's Exhibit 444. What is this?
These are the Google search history events for Nikolas Cruz Makarov at gmail.com.
Okay, and would you read that to us, please?
July 7th, 2017 at 17:09:11 UTC, search for AR-15 mags. July 15th, 2017 at 5:45:55 UTC, search for movie theater massacre gun. July 16th, 2017, 1941-13 UTC, search for movie theater massacre gun. July 21st, 2017, at 2:52:43 UTC, search for gun case cost. July 26, 2017, 1:25:14 UTC, search for Virginia Tech massacre.
Thank you, Detective Masters. Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness.
Defense, do you have any questions? Just briefly. Okay.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
None of Mr. Cruz's accounts were set to a private, correct?
What do you mean set to private?
None of his social media accounts or Gmail accounts were set under a privacy setting.
I'm not sure of the other, there's no privacy settings really for
Google.
Gmail accounts, right? The searches are held on the back end.
Okay. What about YouTube?
The YouTube comments are publicly available.
Okay. And that's different than searches, right? Searches aren't always publicly available, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And when Mr. Cruz was posting on the YouTube comments, in many of his Gmail accounts, he used his real name.
On the Gmail accounts we just covered, yes.
Yes. And would you agree with me that Mr. Cruz spells his first name, Nikolas, in a different manner than most people do?
Yes. Well, it's different than the spelling of my name, yes.
Right. Are you aware of whether Google or YouTube or anyone else monitors searches and comments for possible threats?
I'm not aware of anything that they do, no.
Okay. I'm going to show you States 443. If I can figure out how to use this. Can you see that, Detective?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you had read off the October 31st, 2017 comment there, correct?
Yeah.
On direct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were aware that when this comment was made, Mr. Cruz's mother was in the hospital dying and in fact died less than 24 hours later.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay. A moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you, Detective.
Thank you.
Steve, do you have anything else for us?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I'm
You're
sorry.
excused. That's okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have good news. Hopefully it's good news. We're going to, that's the last witness that the state has prepared for today. So we are going to recess early. You all have been given, or you should have been given, a letter which is signed by me indicating you were here this week and that you're required to be back on Monday. You will notice that the time is 30 minutes later on your calendar, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. You don't have to be here until 9 o'clock. Please take the calendar with you, and then Thursday, we need you here a little bit early. That's also on the calendar. I will remind you each day of that. Other than that, please remember that when we are in recesses, you may not discuss the case with anyone, including friends or family members. You may not try to look up information about the case or the people and places involved. Do not permit anyone to say anything to you or in your presence about this case, and if anyone attempts to say something to you about the case, tell the person to stop and report the matter immediately. Thank you all very much for your time and attention. Have a safe drive home, and I will see you back on Monday morning. Please leave your notepads behind. Thank you. appointed lawyers, for your information, the Chief Judge, Jack Tudor, would like to have another meeting similar to the one from last week. He's available today. He has confirmed, attempted to confirm with both offices. He's confirmed with BSO, and he was going to, it was set for 4, because I wasn't exactly sure when we were going to be done, but I can ask him. Hold on one second. Okay, he can do it when you all finish up here. We can go straight, I think he's on 20th floor. I assume you all are available since we finished.
For weeks.
Okay, and he said if the state could let Mr. Pryor know, because he was confirmed for 4 o'clock, and then he asked me to let Tony with BSO know, because he was also confirmed for 4 o'clock. So why don't we, it's 3:02 now, why don't we aim for about 3:15? That'll give everyone an opportunity to gather their belongings, okay?
Sure.
Thank you. Other than that, we're in recess.